Okay. Good evening, guys. My name is Amarnath. Uh, I have been telling all my friends, colleagues, and neighbors that I'm inspiring everyone to start thinking of changing your career into data science and machine learning. So today I came up with the initiative to start a demo on data science, machine learning, to you can use it either ways, the those fancy words, whichever, it's the same: data science, machine learning, deep learning, or NLP, or neural network processing, or anything to that matter. Okay, so today I'll give you some brief understanding about what is data science, why data science has become so important, and why companies and clients are willing to pay huge amount as salaries for the data science guys, and why is it a right time at right place to start thinking of changing your career towards data science. First of all, I wanted to make you understand what is happening in the IT market at the moment, and what are they expecting from data science or data scientist guys. Okay, so I came up with a plan today. Our approach is will be: first, we'll go to the job serve. We'll understand what is being asked as a job descriptions by various clients, various vendors, and various recruitment agencies, and we'll pick it from there on our approach. Because when you wanted to plan something, your destination has to be clear, and you also should be aware of what are the things that's going to be met on your way of reaching your destination. That's my approach. So first we'll understand what's data science, what has been expected from data science guys in the market, and then we'll talk about data science. We'll talk about a few important artifacts and important work being carried by data science in their office, and then we'll jump into practicals. Jumping to practicals mean I'm planning for a 2.5 months data science training with complete real-time hands-on with Python programming language and R as programming language. Okay, you may ask me a question: why do you want both Python and R for data science? I'll be answering that question in a few minutes. So our first thing, let's go to JobServe. Let's see what's happening in JobServe. Okay, I have closed it. Let me open it once again. Okay, I have selected all the industries. I have given job title as data scientist, and I have given keywords as data scientist and machine learning, and I have given London, United Kingdom, and I am checking for contract jobs. Let's search. First thing, if you see here, this is not completely a data science job because I understand it's a data analyst job. So don't even look into it. Let's take this one: data scientist, London, 3 months contract. So what is the rate? I'm interested about rate. They have not told the rate here. They said competitive, which is fine. Now let's look into the job description of this role. First thing is, we are looking for a dynamic and proactive data scientist to join their teams at early stage of implementing new big data based data science environment in a digital security fraud. Okay, one thing you must be very careful here is, they are implementing data science on top of a big data based project. Okay, if you are coming from a non big data background, you need not have to worry about it. If you are coming from a big data background, it's a value add for you. Okay, now support the team in an ongoing development of security and fraud strategic roadmap. Okay, ensure the compliance to all policies group. Okay, this is fine. And these are all business terms. Okay, here is the required skills. Now, previous experience of machine learning concepts and techniques, very good. Be proficient at Python and SQL and familiar with Spark. People who are not aware of Spark, don't worry about it. I'm gonna give you a very good roadmap for Spark, because Spark is one of the open source technology, and Spark is very much linked with big data technologies, as it is been worked as a processing framework. Okay, now desired skills and experience, big data experience, retail banking. Here they have not given much about what they are expecting from what they're expecting from a data science. For example, I want this piece of knowledge, or this piece of skill in data scientist from this guy. This piece of information is not given here, so let's not worry about it. Come here. This guy is paying around 550. Very good. Now, guys, we require a data scientist with web development experience using libraries such as Flask, Nginx, Pandas, NumPy. Very good. Today, in this session, we are going to talk about Pandas library, NumPy library. So this guy wants somebody who has got Flask, Nginx, Pandas library. Very good. You will be experienced in working with deploying data science products. Very good. Now, what are the requirements? You need to have Python. You need to have these libraries. We will be talking about these libraries today. Now, application deployment, testing, source control, these are all okay, fine. AWS experience, rate is 650, 550. Now, desired machine learning, deep learning, Keras, and TensorFlow. Machine deep learning is a part of our 2.5 months course. Keras is also part of our 2.5 months course. TensorFlow is also part of 2.5 months course. Very good. So one thing I am interested here is they want somebody with Python, and they want somebody to have already worked on Nginx, Pandas, and NumPy. Things to remember. Let's go to next one. Here, what is this guy saying? This guy has not given much information. Let's not worry about it. But experience coding with Python for machine learning will be required for your application. So this guy wants somebody with Python knowledge, Python development. Here, let's come back. Now, one of our client, we require contract data scientist to be based in Central London. Very good. Expertise development knowledge of Python or R. Anyone, not both. Okay. Extensive knowledge on Python or R language or different libraries available used with machine learning. Very good. Experience developing machine learning algorithms. You will need to know classification and regression approach. The classification, the regression approach are also part of our journey in 2.5 months course, and we'll be also working on deploying the machine learning algorithms. We'll build machine learning models by ourselves, and we'll also deploy the algorithms by ourselves. Very good. Okay. Next one. By the way, let me check the rate of this guy. How much? He has not given the rate. Okay, no worries. Data scientist. Next thing. This looks good. A strong numerical high degree in mathematical, scientific, engineering, or computer science discipline with applications of data science. Very good. Experience with different programming languages. Different programming languages. Please be cautious. Different means Spark. It can be Scala. It can be R. It can be Python. Now, and a good grasp of at least one language. So they want you to be perfect in they want you to know few programming languages, R, Scala, Python, but you have to be well versed, practically perfect in one of the language. Now, GitHub, this is fine. And experience working with open source data science environment, very good. Knowledge on open source big data technologies, Apache Spark, Apache Hadoop, Hive, Pig, MapReduce. So let me go back to the big data again. As said, most of the data science projects are being worked on big data. So if you are not from big data background, don't worry, we have a road plan for that. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Experience building production systems, which is fine. Now what is the rate? This guy rate is 600 pounds. Very good. Now data scientist, let me come here. Now this guy has given more detailed information. Now they want designing, building, and deploying the text processing services. Super. Guys, this text processing services means basically machine learning and data science are mathematic based computations or algorithms that works with either 0 1 or 0 to 10 or numbers. If you have a text, how can you build a machine learning model on it? For that, what you need to do is you need to convert your text into an understandable variables or understandable numerical format where your machine learning model work. That is called text processing services. However, that will be covered in our demo. I have a plan to I will try to finish that also in the demo, because I will explain the content of a demo once I finish this one. Support and improving the existing NLP based product. Somebody has already developed an NLP based product. NLP is nothing but a neural language processing. Okay, and this one is already built, and you have to support it. Drawing from both personal experience and as well as emerging cutting edge. This is nothing but adaptability and flexibility they're talking about. Coding preferably Python or Java. So what I understand by this, one language is not enough. You must have Python and R. Java, it depends. Now, if you are currently in a software engineer, data engineer, machine learning engineer, or data scientist role, please focus. If you are a software engineer, if you are a data engineer, if you are a machine learning engineer, or a data scientist role, this could be an ideal next step. Data scientist role or machine learning engineer role or data engineer are same. Okay. Now, what are they wanted? They wanted expert Python development skills. Very good. 3+ years of experience in NLP, exposure to NLP frameworks, Open NLP, Gate, etc., and experience in with text pre-processing and post pre-processing techniques. This requirement we are going to meet in our demo itself. Okay, if time permits. I have already had documentation for that. Okay, now if you see here, this guy is a new media guy. What is he asking? Experience on working highly scalable environments. Okay. Strong experience leading and mentoring other data scientists. That's perfect. Ability to deliver complex machine learning models and advanced analytical algorithms. I repeat, ability to deliver complex machine learning models and advanced analytical algorithms. Very good. Strong commercial acumen. Guys, this is very important. When you say strong commercial acumen, it means you need to have a strong business domain knowledge. For example, banking domain, they have their own key terminologies and their own upstream, downstream, and processing layer, landing layer, and reporting layer kind of stuff. If you come back to your in banking, you have you have your metrics, you have your stats, you have your brokers, you have your Murex app details, all these things. So you must be aware of it. If you come to telecom domain, you have your MMS, you have your CDR, you have your telecom data, you have your analytics data, all these things. If you go to insurance, you have premiums, you have customer DNA, you have customer details, all these things. If you come to health care domain, you have terminal like samples, you have terms like genomes, annotations, variants, this kind of things. So this business acumen is very much necessary for you to work as a data scientist. One more important sensitive thing I want everyone to be aware. There is a role which came up recent years called chief data officer, which is equivalent to a CEO, CFO. Data scientist team works for a CDO, chief data officer. So consider the level of knowledge you have to gain, amount of maturity you have to show on dealing with data, and your interpretation of business acumen is also very important. Once again, data science is not like SQL or MSBI or Hadoop or .NET or testing or anything. It is completely a development process where you breath out of your data. You will be given a data, play around, annotate it, process it, pre-process it, and build algorithms, build models, give the roadmap, visualize, discuss, come up with the product. That's what it is. So you need not have to have any prerequisite knowledge. You need to have a broad mind to think what you can do with the data effectively and efficiently. Okay. Strong background in agile and then process. Demonstrate knowledge of best practices in model evaluation, model management lifecycle. This is very important. Model management lifecycle or data science lifecycle are the same things. Data science lifecycle is the basic requirement for any data scientist. It's nothing but the way you, before you develop something, the way you test it, the way you do a pre-validation test, post-validation test, and then take it to prod. Like that, we have a data science life cycle where you have pre-exploratory analysis, and then pre-processing, and then post-processing, and then building libraries, and then machine learning algorithms, and visualize. That's what it is. Solid knowledge on big data, special statistical analytical tools. Once again, it's Python and R and Scala. Scala is nothing but a programming language that works closely with Spark. Okay, this one, experience big data analytics landscape at technology trends. This is again big data, so don't worry about it. Let's check one last one and jump into our course. Here, proficiency in Python and experience in the creation of services using frameworks like Flask and Django. Okay, very good. Experience in scientific stack, NumPy, Script, sklearn, and Pandas. We are going to talk about NumPy today. We are going to talk about sklearn. We are going to talk about Pandas. So this requirement you learn today itself. Be proud about it. Disciplined approach to testing and QA. This is nothing but data driven testing, software driven testing, and all these things. Docker and Ansible comes and DevOps, so don't worry about it. So this is what it is. Let's not waste too much time on this. Looking at the 7 or 8 job descriptions, what you need to understand, they are expecting more than one programming language to be a minimum requirement for a data scientist. For you to build machine learning models or come up with the data science algorithms, you have to have a very good hands-on, perfectly on one of the programming language, and moderately good at other programming language. In my course, data science and machine learning with Python and R. Whatever I do on Python, I will show the same on R. Whatever I do on R, I'll show the same thing on Python. This way, you'll get a broad exposure on using these tools. And one more thing here, everyone have to be cautious is building machine learning models is different from having a good exposure and usage of IDE tools. IDE tools are development tools, Python programming language and R programming language. So more you use it, more you get comfortable, and more you get the shortcuts, more you get the debugging process, more you get the interfaces, more adaptable for you. So that's what it is. So we are moving on to the next stage. The conclusion of this stage is they are expecting a data scientist to have a knowledge on building machine learning models, data science algorithms using pandas, numpy, sklearn, and tensorflow, and pre-processing, post-processing, and exploratory analysis, blah blah blah, using Python and R. So that's what we understood. Now let's not waste time and jump into our content. This is what it is. Now, what is data science? Why data science is getting very popular and many people are trying to jump into the bandwagon? That is great. So I wish, and I hope, and I want everyone to learn and uh, get there. Okay, but many assume that data science, machine learning, plug any other buzzword, it is something to do with the skit learn libraries. Yes, that's true. Data science is nothing but you have a test case, or you know the purpose, and to meet that purpose you make use of few libraries. If you practice more and more and more, you become a very good data scientist. Okay, on top of it, how can you drive your business data properly so business can change the way they work, or they are well advanced in understanding the customer or understanding the business or transforming their business. Okay, now, why data science? One of the first question to ask before we become a data scientist is, how well will data science and data scientists improve this world with data? I repeat the question. How will data science and data scientists will improve this world with the data? Yes, they will indeed improve the world with data, because the data driven companies just say our product is data, and therefore the goal of data science aligns with the goal of the company in generating revenues, or in generating net worth, or to increase more sales, or to get more customers, or make their product long live, or having huge customer base. Few We can take it different ways also. For example, if you apply the same example for a mobile gaming company, answer may not be direct. They may not be using this to make more money from a gaming company, but they'll understand how to run the business with the data and the data scientist. Now, one last thing we must be remembering in this slide is, however, in this early stages, it's usually beneficial to start collecting data about customer behavior so that you can improve your products in the future. Now, some of the benefits. Few benefits of using data science is, you can identify your business metrics to track and forecast. You may ask me, Amar, what is a business metric? I'll give you an example here. Guys, I have my own YouTube channel, and in my YouTube channel, I have around 44 videos and 444 subscribers. In this channel, I have uploaded all the contents regarding Hadoop administration, Hadoop DevOps, and Spark development. Okay, and I think I'm the first one to upload a video on Kafka with Spark streaming when the client started using Kafka as an ingestion layer. Okay, history apart. Now, this is my channel, and I wanted to get some metrics on my channel. Metrics on my channel means to understand who is watching my videos, how many ads am I getting, looking at the analytics, statistics, or metrics of my channel. It will give me a way to it will give me a change in approach to make more money. Let me show you how. So this is my Hadoop ThoughtWorks is my channel. I'm going to my analytics. Carefully observe, guys. Observe carefully. In this, if you see, United Kingdom, it's only 5.5% of viewers are watching my playlist or videos. United States, 34% is watching my playlist and videos. India, it's 52% watching my videos and playlist. One thing I should be ashamed is, I'm in London, I'm in United Kingdom, but it's only 5.5%. So this is the area where I must focus. Now, this has given me the information. Okay, guys from United Kingdom are not watching my videos to that extent when compared to India and US. What can I do? How can I lure them? How can I attract them? What else can I make? What else can I add so I attract more customers? I get more viewers. When I get more viewers, I get more ads. When I get more ads, I get more money. That's what the metrics is. Now, this metrics here, this is nothing but data science. This is not machine learning. This is nothing but, your deep learning. Now, Google is using their algorithm based upon the data I have. Okay, data is nothing but my customers, my viewers. Okay, in the background, I'll explain how it works. For example, if you are a customer, there is a process called click through process. Once you click on my Hadoop ThoughtWorks channel, there is one table that generates on your name. That table will have a unique identifier. Okay, from that table, every click you do, it generates a column. Like that, it will have thousands and millions of columns based upon how many clicks you do. So for each unique identifier ID of your table, there are many columns. Okay, like that, user one column, sorry, user 1 reference ID, user 2 one reference ID, user 3 one reference ID. These 3 reference IDs with multiple columns, multiple clicks. So with the clicks they have, with the reference ID they have, they do some annotations, they do some processing and give you these results. That's what is machine learning and data science. Okay, now you need to understand what are they. how they are doing it. I've just given you one recap of it. This click-through process is a best example. For example, you have a website. You have a website-based company. Customers, one more thing I can explain you. If you see here, see the watch time, average view duration. In this average view duration, I can understand how many of my viewers are exactly watching the whole video. How many of the customers are just leaving after watching for 5 minutes? Which means if they are leaving after watching 5 minutes, is my content not interesting? Or am I giving something less than what they're expecting? Or are my sessions very long? Or can I break my sessions into small pieces so they can watch the whole video? This kind of assumptions it gives, so I can prepare and change my business format. Okay, that's what it is. So that is called metrics. So for example, let's take this one. For this video, watch time is very high, which is 2505. So now I can go and watch this video. I can listen to the whole video again, and I can get some what went well, what didn't went well, and whatever I captured on this, what went well. If I can implement the same on all other future videos, that may increase my sales, that may increase my viewers, that may increase my revenue. Okay, that's what the metrics is. Hope I nailed it. I believe so. Okay, that is the metrics. Now, building a predictive model for customer behavior. Guys, predictive model is nothing but I gave you example now. My model here, the customers are coming, watching, going. How can I make sure customers are tied to me? So if I must make sure they're subscriber to my channel, I must keep some interesting stuff every day, day by day, so they get an alert when I added something. So they'll come back and check what I have added. So that way I am maintaining connections with my customers and I'm always in line with them. That is predictive modeling of customer behavior. Running the experiment to test the product changes. Okay, this one is you build a machine learning model and you ask your machine learning model to make the changes and run the beta version of it, and if it looks good, you go and change it on prod. If that is the case, then you can use machine learning for that case also. Now, here are the 4 key functions of data science that I have experienced in my career with the job titles. Please, you must remember this very carefully. If you're working for a product, you will have an inference scientist as your job role. If you're working as product, you'll have an applied scientist as your job role. If you're working for operations, you'll have a system scientist as your job role. If you're working as operations, you'll have as ML engineer as your job role. If you just remember what I have shown in one of the job description, they said software engineer, they said machine learning engineer, they said data engineer, they said data scientist. All the terms are the same, but they wanted people to have a good exposure and technical perfect hands-on Python, R, and good knowledge on working with libraries, TensorFlow, algorithms, pre-processing, post-processing, expert analysis. Okay, now this is what it is. This is what I do in my data science job. Okay, here what? Let me take a pen and show you nicely. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'll put this here. Okay, this is my raw data. Here, understand the business context and keep your mind open. First, what is the raw data? Where is your data coming from? What context is your data? Is it telecom data? Is it a banking data? Is it insurance data? Is it a medical healthcare data? Or is it insurance data? Or is it some oil and resource data? Or is it some government public data? Whatever it is, it may be coming into your data lake in any of the format. It can be text format, it can be sequential format, it can be Avro, it can be JSON, it can be BSON, it can be Mongo collections, it can be anything. Now, once the data has arrived, I am sure it will be a raw dump shit. Now, that raw data, you have to make it in a meaningful way. If it is unstructured, change it to structured. Or if you need not have to change it to unstructured, make it in a clean data set. So here, the second step is, if you want your unstructured to structure, change it. If you're fine with unstructured, you have your own plan on how you're going to work. For example, in my data set, I have 30 rows and 40 columns. But I have a business requirement. To meet the business requirement, I only need 10 columns and all the rows. For that case, what I will do, I will take, I'll remove the 30 unwanted columns and work with 10 columns and 20 rows. I repeat, if I have 20 rows and 20 columns, but my business requirement wants me to, but to meet a business requirement, I wanted 10 columns only, keeping all the 20 lines. In that case, I'll remove the unnecessary unwanted 10 columns and make my data set clean. That is step 3. Once that's done, you do the exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis means you have a huge data set. From that, you made a small data set. From this data set, how you are going to approach, what you are going to make, what is your plan of approach, what is your pre-processing, what is your post-processing, and how are you going to apply your transformations on top of it. That is your exploratory data analysis. Business will sometime ask you to show the data before exploratory data analysis and after exploratory data analysis. So never ever remove the data once you assume that you have exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis is for you, for your business requirement, and for you to meet your requirement. Like that, somebody may have some other requirement, so they need that data to be like that. Hope that makes sense. Now, once your exploratory analysis is completed, you have models and algorithms. Here comes your machine learning models and your data science algorithms. How do you build your machine learning models? What are the important libraries you use? What are the TensorFlows you use? What is the NLPs you use? What is the neural networks you use? What is the deep learning modules you use? This kind of things. Once that's done, you communicate and visualize. One more important thing which people have missed in the job description is Tableau. Tableau is used as one of the reporting tool and visualizing tool. Once your algorithms are being ready, you can visualize your data like I have shown you in my YouTube channel. So that is also very important. You need to have good knowledge and visualize as well. Visualization, the way you have your business acumen, your landing layer, your data processing layer, your processing layer, your upstream, your downstream, like that, your visualization will also help you to get a benchmark of performance of your whole algorithms as well, other way of it. And the other thing is data product implementation. Here, if everything looks good, you discuss and you make decisions. Or the other available opportunities, you'll ask your data product implementation team to implement the algorithms and models you have worked on. Okay, now let me erase all the drawings. Let me go and take a pen pointer. Okay, now introduction is done. Tracking data, I've shown you how tracking data is done. Tracking data is nothing but what data, which data, where data, how data. Where is it coming from? How is it coming? In what format is it coming? How you're processing it? Data pipelines. Again, data pipeline is nothing but your data lake. Your data lake is nothing but your infrastructure where your data is coming into. On that data, you're going to build your machine learning models. How you're going to access it? Are you going to access it, or you are going to get that into your environment? That's a different story. Business intelligence, exploratory analysis. I've shown you. I've told you predictive modeling, model prediction, experimentation, recommendation system, deep learning. Now, guys, I, I expect there will be few freshers who will be listening to this recording. So I gave some good, meaningful sentences for you to understand what is tracking data, what is data pipeline. It is self-explanatory. You can go through it. I don't want to waste time in reading the slides because you can do it. Very good. Now, this is our agenda. This is our to-do list in today's um, demo. Today we are going to talk about machine learning, data science with Python and R. Okay, as job description says, you need to have knowledge on machine learning with Python, machine learning with R, we need to have Python and its IDE. We need to have R and its IDE. So Anaconda is nothing but Python's integrated development environment, which has got Spider in it. I'll explain that more precisely, don't worry. And you will have an R, and in R, you will have an R Studio, which is an IDE of R. Now, you will get a datasets, and once you get the datasets, how do you import them? And once you import the datasets, how we import the libraries to build your models. Once you import those libraries, how we import your data sets. Understand the difference between getting the data set and importing the data set. Getting the data set is getting data into your cluster or into your data lake. Once data is landed there, how do you make your environment to access it, or you go there to get the data? That is getting the data set, importing data set, and then importing libraries. After importing libraries, you have we'll meet few criteria today. One is missing data criteria, and other one is categorical data criteria. We'll be implementing this one in Python and R, and this one in Python and R. Okay, let me move on, guys. We are going to do 0 1 0 2 1 2 3 4 today. Okay, if time permits, we'll do categorical data also. In categorical data is where we have text pre-processing and text processing layer. Text pre-processing means you have your data in text, and for your machine learning models to work, you have to convert that text into numerics, 1 0 or whatever. Okay, we'll be doing that with a few techniques, and I will show that as well. I think we 100% we can complete till this point. If time permits, I'll also complete this point. However, slides are ready for this one as well. Okay, now let's understand how you can get hands-on installing Python, how you can get hands-on installing R. Okay, guys, I have given the link here. If it is Windows 64, you can download your Anaconda from here. If it is Mac, you can download Anaconda from here. First of all, what is Anaconda? Anaconda is a distribution of Python with Python 3.5 version. You all know Python is a programming language. Okay, and Anaconda is an integrated development environment which helps you to add some packages and other tools facilitating your development. If you if you have heard about IDE, IntelliJ, if you have heard about Eclipse, people who work on Java, like that, you have Anaconda, and Anaconda you have a Spider, which acts as a integrated development interface, integrated development systems, which helps you to import packages, libraries, and add more tools to facilitate your development. Now, Anaconda is very good because Anaconda has a predefined IDE which can import a package like pandas, numpys, scikit-learn, and all these things. Now, important settings and setup. Let me show you guys. Very simple. I tell you something. Go here, go to your repo.container.io. In here you have your Anaconda repository, view all packages. Okay, if you are working on Mac OS, go and download this. Installation process same like you install a Skype or you install some applications on your system. And once that's done, we shall launch Anaconda now. Let me show you. I'll go to Launchpad. From Launchpad, this is my Anaconda navigator. Please be informed, once you install Anaconda, that Anaconda installation will give you an icon called Anaconda Navigator. You need to open that. Click on Anaconda Navigator. That will open. Meanwhile, let's also, okay, these are the important settings in Anaconda. I will not go to R. I'll finish this and then go to R. Okay, let me show you that. Now Anaconda is opening up. Very good. Okay, as I told you, in Anaconda you have an IDE called Spider. See here, scientific Python development. Spider means scientific Python development. It is powerful Python IDE with advanced editing, interactive testing, debugging, and introspection features. Very good. I'm gonna launch it now. Let me click on launch. Perfect. It's coming up. Let's give it a minute. Perfect. Now I'm going to remove all these things because I was testing something before giving this demo. So I'll remove everything from here. I'll make it very blank page. Now guys, This is a simple spider window, and all you must be aware to start working is, first, one second, one second. Okay. First, launch your Anaconda Navigator, which we just did, and then launch Spider. Spider is nothing but advanced ID editing, interactive testing, debugging, and introspection. Very good. And then go to views. In that, we'll have panes. In that, enable all these views, all these panes. One is editor, one is IPython console, one is variable explorer, object inspector, file explorer. Let's check if we have all those available. So what was I telling? Go here, go to view, go to panes. Do you see that? I have editor, I have IPython console, I have help, I have file explorer, I have everything. Okay. Now, sometimes if it is struck, you can reload it. Let me show you that. Okay, reload is not needed now. Don't worry about it. View. If you want to uncheck anything, you can uncheck like this. That will go off. And if you wanted to check it back, you can do help. Okay. This is variable explorer. This is file explorer, and this is consoler. Okay. Now that's one part of it. Now go to Python, go to preferences, and if you want to change the font, if you want to change anything, you can change it here. Go to general. This is the rich text format, and if you want to change the window style, icon theme, you can change anything. Okay. 3 is my lucky number, so I'll use spider 3. I'm just kidding, guys. No, I don't want to restart it. Okay, that's general things I'm showing you. That's perfect. So we are done with this one. Now guys, if you go here, if you go to preference, if you go to help, you need to enable automatic connections for object inspector. This is for Mac only. Whereas if you're working on Windows, if you go on view, if you go on view, and if you go on panes, you will have object inspector here. But the object inspector in Windows is replaced by help in Mac. However, for your help feature to work properly, what you need to do is you need to enable this one. Go to preference and then help. So preference is this one. In preference you have help option, and in help option you have to enable this one and this one. Otherwise your object explorer, object inspector may not work. The importance of object inspector is very, very important. If you are a layman and if you don't know anything about classes, objects, you can use object inspector and understand what it does. That's the importance of it. So with this, we know what is Anaconda, we know what is spider, we know panes, we know the interface, and we can change the fonts of Anaconda and spider. Now let's get on to R. Very good. Guys, I made it very clear. R can be downloaded from this website. R Studio can be downloaded from this website. Now, as I told you earlier, installation procedure is pretty straightforward. Nothing serious and nothing cautious. It's straightforward. Okay. But one thing you must be very much aware is, if you installed R Studio without installing R, your IDE will crash, because first R has to be installed. If R is installed, R Studio will automatically detect the version by picking up from the R. That is the dependency of it. So never ever install R Studio without installing R. Please remember this. Now, if you want to customize the R Studio, like we customize the spider, what you need to do is, first let's launch R. This is R Studio. It's coming up. I'm gonna delete everything because I wanted to start from scratch. Okay, so first let me, sorry for that, print my data science course. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, now let's go back to our slide. If you want to customize R Studio, you need to go to preference and appearance. Go to R, click here, go to preferences. In preference, we'll have appearance. And in the appearance you can change everything. Do you want to change it? If you want to change the ambience, you can change it. Apply. Okay, it changed, so it looks good for me. I'm fine with it. Okay, like that. So with this one, we understood Anaconda, we understood Spider, we understood R Studio. Okay, perfect. Now let's get on to practicals. Guys, this bit and this bit are straightforward. You need not have to worry anything. The way you install any application on your Windows or on your Mac, it is same. No additional permissions, nothing to worry about. Just click next, next, next. It will install everything. Okay, getting the data sets. Guys, data sets are available online everywhere. If you click on just get data sets for my data science, you will find a lot of data sets. Okay, but one thing I want to highlight here is the crucial step for your machine learning models to work is, or to build a machine learning models without any issues, we need to have our stuff prepared with data pre-processing phase. Data pre I'm sorry, data pre-processing phase means your data might be corrupt, your data might be incomplete, records may be missing. For example, I'm a BPO company. I have a technical support who has taken the customer details incorrectly, and he's the most valuable customer for me, and I have to give some rewards to the customer. For me to give rewards to the customer, I must have his full address, but I don't have it. Okay, for some reason, the agent or technical support guy has not taken his full details. In such cases, what should I do? I must make my data ready. I must fill the gaps. Okay, so that is one area of it. This is only one example I'm telling you. There are several examples like that. So you can pick your data sets from online and start working on those data sets. If you want, I can help you on getting data sets, not a problem. Now, guys, mindset of a data scientist. Data scientist mindset must be very broad. It must be out of box in terms of dealing with data. You always have to talk like metrics, 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 variance, metrics, variance. When I say metrics and variance, the reason why I I stress very much on metrics and variance is it's very simple, guys. The metrics features are the one that drives your business, and you'll also have dependent variable vectors. Dependent variable vectors means to get your metrics x or y or z, you make use of your dependent variable vectors. What are those dependent variable vectors and what are those metrics? Now, always remember the standard procedure for a data scientist is first you'll create one metric feature. Okay, that metric feature will have independent variables or it may have dependent variables. Okay, I'll explain you practically. Give me a minute. I'll explain that practically. 1 minute, guys. Now, let's assume this is my data set. In my data set, I have a country column, age column, salary column, purchase column. 4 columns with 10 rows. Okay. Now, observe this data set carefully. If you ask me what is metric here, first thing is I'll take purchase as a metric because it's very simple for me. Yes or no? If it says it's one metric, if it's no, it's other metric. Now, if I want to get this metric, I will use country, age, and column as dependent variables. And I will apply functions or transformations or anything on those dependent variables to get the metrics. Okay. Now, my requirement here is, do you see here? Age, one of the field doesn't have data for age column. One of the field in salary doesn't have the data. Now, my requirement here is I want to fill this gap with something meaningful like average of the whole age. Like that, I want to fill this empty data with average of the salary. Now, plan your approach. This is your data set. how we are going to feed your data set into your spider, how we are going to how we are going to feed your data into your R, how we are going to apply functions on R, versus how we are going to import libraries and apply transformations on top of your dataset. I repeat, how you apply functions on R versus how you import the libraries and apply transformations on your dataset. The reason why I told you two times is you need not have to import any libraries in R, but you have to import libraries in Python. Okay, now let's take one by one. Let's get there. As we are shaping up on doing practicals, I want you to understand, from now, change your mindset. You are a data scientist. You have to think everything in metrics and Metrics is what you're achieving. Vectors is what you are using to get your metrics. When you are having X as a metric, your YZ are your vectors. Your vectors may be sometime dependent variables or sometime independent variables. Whichever the way it is, make them a key, get some values. Make them a defined row and get the columns like that. So that's what it is. Now I'm going to get you there. Let's start working on it. First, we'll work on Anaconda, we'll work on Python, and then we'll work on R. Guys, this is plain, nothing written spider, your Python console. Now, let's start working on it. Okay, first thing is importing your data set. Okay, to import your data set in Python, you must use few libraries. Okay, I'll explain you each library one by one. However, they are written very clearly on the PPTs. I'll update these PPTs, guys. Don't worry. Now, what is a library? Library is a tool that you can use to make a specific job given some inputs and it returns the desired output. Machine learning libraries, models are based on mathematics. That's been told many times. Once again, a library is nothing but that's a tool you are using. So this tool will take your input, it does the job and gives you some output. Very good. What are the examples of library? NumPy library, you can say scikit-learn library, you can say pandas library, you can use any library. There are three essential libraries we use every time in our DS and ML, data science and machine learning. One is import NumPy, other one is import matplotlib.pyplot. Matplotlib is one library, and in that you have one other sub library which is called pyplot, and you have pandas library. The panda library is the best library used to import datasets and manage datasets. If you don't import it, you cannot deal or you cannot work with datasets. I repeat, pandas will be used to import dataset and also manage dataset. So libraries must be imported for Python, but in R you have them packaged and must be selected based on your need and necessity, which I'm going to explain you in a few minutes. Okay. Now missing data, guys. First of all, case one, understand very clearly. You have some missing data in your data set and you need to get it. You need to get the trick to handle this problem and make everything look good. Make sense? Now, first, to remove all the lines or observations where the missing data is. Okay, how can you do that? Now, it's crucial you deal with removing the lines and observations with care. Means you always have to be very careful if you are removing anything. His approach here is, or my approach here is, to remove the lines or observations where the missing data is. Okay, where is the missing data? Missing data is in this column and missing data is in this column. In these two columns, I'll first remove these columns. I'll first separate them so I can deal with them separately. That's what the approach is, and do it with much care and cautious. Better idea is to take the mean of columns. Every feature has a missing data. So what are we going to do here? This missing data, this empty field here will be replaced with average of the whole thing, and this field here will be replaced with the average of whole thing. How are we achieving it? What are we doing it? What are the process? First thing, guys, I'll give you step by step procedure. You will be importing libraries. If needed, you will be importing some sublibraries. From that sublibraries, you will be using some classes. From that classes, you will be using some objects. You will invoke those objects. That objects you will fit to a metric, and from that metric, you will apply transformation. 5 steps. Once again, before jumping into it, I'll make it easy for you. First, import the dataset. Second, import the library. If your requirement is met in library, happy. If your requirement is not met in that library, you will import some sublibraries from that library. Okay, once you are done with the importing sublibrary, you will come up with a class. When you are aware of the class, you do object inspection of that class. Okay, and you create an object, and you will reference that object to a class. And once everything looks good, you will fit that to a metric. Once you fit that to a metric, you apply transformation on that metric. Theory, I know it will be quite nuisance, but I'll explain you practically. That's my approach. Before doing something, I'll tell people what I'm going to do, so it makes you more comfortable. Now, as I told you, you need not have to import any libraries in R, but Python you have to import libraries. I explained you the libraries I have done. I'll explain you once again. The first library, as I'm dealing with numbers here, I want a NumPy library. What is a NumPy library? Import. Where am I writing, man? Okay. Import NumPy library, and I'll give it alias as NP. Super. And I also need other library which is called matplotlib. And in this matplotlib, I have another library called pyplot. Okay, and I'll give this name as plt, alias name. Perfect. Now I'm importing other library which is called pandas library, and I'll give name as pd. Just to recap, let me explain you what I've done here. NumPy library contains mathematical tools which includes any kind of mathematics on your code. Super, understood. Next is matplotlib. Matplotlib or pyplot is a sublibrary of your matplotlib, and pyplot, this library helps you to have nice charts and plots. Okay, pandas library is the best library used to import datasets and manage datasets. Perfect. Till here we are good. Now let's get the dataset. Before getting the dataset, you have your file explorer here. File explorer is nothing but in every integrated development environment, there is a process called pwd, working directory. You have to make sure, have you set your working directory correct. So my working directory means my data set is in downloads. In downloads, I have this machine learning A to Z. In that, I have data pre-processing. This is my data. Okay, now this data I have to import into my spider console. How can I do that? Watch me. I say data set is equal to, guys, I have already used pandas library here. I'll do use panda library and use the function read underscore csv. Okay, enter. What is my file name? See here, read underscore is nothing but you need to give file path, and it will take up everything. 1 second, guys. Data underscore csv. Perfect. Now your data has been taken. If you wanted to verify that, okay, if you want to verify that, just do view data set, enter. 1 second, something went wrong. View dataset doesn't work here. View dataset is 1 second. What is my data once again? Is it data underscore csv? Is data.csv? That's the problem. It's data.csv. Now if I say command enter, see, name error, PD is not defined. The problem is I have not executed this. That's the problem. Let me execute this one. So yeah, now these three are executed properly. Now if I do this, it makes sense because it import. Guys, I'll tell you what mistake I did. I have directly run this without running this. But what are you telling here? You are telling PD. What is PD? PD is pandas library. Without running this, it doesn't even know what is PD. So I have run this. So it has taken results. It has taken everything correctly and understood what I'm doing. Now if I do here, command enter, it has taken. Now if you see here, come down, view dataset. Okay, view dataset is a R usage. I'm sorry, I need not have to use it here. I'll show you that in R. Okay, now go to variable explorer. Do you see here? You have your dataset ready. Click on the dataset. So you have country. You have 10 rows, 4 columns: country, age, salary, purchased. Now try to understand something. This is empty field which is replaced by nan, which is this is empty field replaced by nan. That's how the Python replaces the empty data with nan. So this is clear till this point. Now we need to understand, guys, as I told you, metrics versus vectors. What is metric? What is vectors? Metrics features versus dependent vectors means you create a metric feature, that is creating a matrix for 3 independent variables. For example, okay, I'll show you that on Excel sheet, which makes more easy for you. The variable x, that's gonna be metric. Now guys, if I'm gonna talk about this column and if I want to replace this one, this is my metric, right? For me to work on this metric, I'll use this one, and this one as dependent variables. If I'm working on this one as a metric to replace this one with average, I'll use this one, and this one as independent variables or dependent variables to that matter. Okay, so let's recap. The variable x, that's gonna be metric, and all the observations: country, age, salary. Okay, if purchase is going to be a metric, then this three will become the observations. Observations are nothing but as synonyms for your dependent variables or independent variables. Okay, now other thing is, we'll create a dependent variable vector which is going to be a last column with this one. Now I will tell you, I'll show you how we can filter the data in Python to make your work more easy. Guys, once again, I know this variable vector and metrics terminologies will be a little confusing, but I'm sure on the day one it will be a little confusing. It will be more easy for you once you understand the terminology of data science. Okay, I'll get you there, don't worry about it. Now we have done this bit. To see the result, I can say data set here. I got everything. I got country column, I got age column, I got salary column, I got purchase column. Good enough. Now, first requirement, I'm taking a matrix X. What am I going to do with matrix X? My matrix X is being applied on dataset, and I'm going to use a function called ilog. This ilog function will filter my data. The way how it filters is, colon means take all the rows. Okay, anything left to the comma is rows, anything after comma is columns. One more thing I want to highlight here is, in Python the indexes starts with 0. Okay, this is 0 column, this is 1 column, this is 2 column, this is 3 column. And if I come in the anti-clockwise direction, this is -1 column, this is -2 column, this is -3 column, this is -4 column. Okay, make sense? Now guys, once again I'm telling, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, when I said colon, I'm asking it to take all the lines. So it will take all the lines. Which one? iLog function. Okay, let me show you something. Go to your help. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now let me show it here. So when I say, please be very careful, do it carefully and nicely. Here you are giving all your rows. Here you are giving -1. -1 means you are telling boss, take out my last column dot values. Now let's see what happens. Okay, spelling mistake. It's data set, not data. Now let me run this one. Perfect. Now if I click 1 second. Now if I click on X here, see the wonder. Do you see that? It has taken, sorry, when I say 1 second. Yeah. When I said -1, 1 second. Did I take everything correctly? Yeah. Variable vector X can be used. For example, here I have asked it to take only this one. -1 means this one. Okay. Now let me show you how I take value Y. Okay. Value Y will be your third column. Third column means 0, 1, 2. Okay. Y will be dataset dot ilog. Same thing. I am taking all the lines and I am taking the third column and all the values associated with that. Okay. Now if I run this one, now if you run Y here, see what happens. It has done the same thing. 1 minute, guys. I think I did some mistake here. One second. Let me cross check my understanding. Is my dataset correct first? Command enter. Okay. Let's say dataset. Super. This is correct. So if I give 1, let me see what happens. So 1 gave everything 44 age. Well, that's nice. Yeah, our understanding is correct. So once again, I will tell you one example. We are creating a dependent variable vector here. The dependent variable vector, which is going to be last column with 10 observations. To do that, we have done in two ways. One is X. With X, we have removed the last column. Once again, let me show you. I will do it once again. I'll explain what I've done here. Sorry for the confusion. This is X. This is Y. So let's go to X now. It should give the results. Good. Let's go to Y. It should give the results. Very good. Superb. Now guys, I'll explain you what I have done. I am creating a dependent variable vector. This dependent variable vector is going to be the last column with 10 observations. So I am using X for one case and Y for other case. The reason why I'm using 2 is I wanted to remove the last column. Okay. If I remove the last column, I'll have only 3 columns. On that 3 columns, I can get the work done. Okay. So now other thing I wanted to show you is how I can take care of missing data. Okay. So now the missing data will be, first important thing to work on missing data is there's an important library we all must be aware of. That library is nothing but scikit-learn library. The scikit-learn library is massive, it's very big, and it's very extensively used everywhere. So you have to see importing libraries and getting the work done. I will do it, even to be honest, a guy who finished the bachelor's degree can also do that. But when we claim ourselves as data scientists, we need to understand each and everything of it so precisely. So I cannot explain you at this moment the whole background of it, but we shall discuss on our weekend real time sessions in deep diving the scikit learning and everything. But if you see here, it's a pre-processing phase, it can be used. Now I'll come back and explain you why I am importing it. Okay, first let me import it. From there I will show you. From okay, let before going there, as we have imported data and as we have imported data and as uh, we have made some corrections to data, let's do the same thing in R. To do that same thing in the R, first thing you have to do is you have to set the working directory. Go to your files, go to downloads, go to machine learning, go to data preprocessing, and in that you have your data. Come to more, make this as your working directory. So once you set your working directory, this will come up. Okay, this is very much clear to us. Once that is done, now we need to import the data. How can you import the data? It's very simple. Data set is equal to read.csv. That's so spontaneous. And what is your data name? It's in the quotes data.csv. Okay, now that is done. View data set, enter. See, you have all your data set. Observe something. In Python, this empty field is replaced by nan, but here it is na and na. Okay, now I close the data set as I have imported the data set properly. Okay, as I imported data set properly, my requirement of importing data set here is completed. Let me go back to Python now. From Python, I will start working on missing data. For me to work on missing data, I have to import some libraries. Before I import some libraries, first, first let me import the libraries and explain you what the library does. The library name is called sklearn, and in that you have a sublibrary called preprocessing, that's spontaneous, and from that you import a class called imputer class. As I told you earlier, enter. Now if I do control command I, do you see here it came up? Guys, once again, click on this highlighted command I, it will come up here. This is called object inspector. In Mac, object inspector is replaced with help, but in Windows you'll have it under view. Now a time has come for us to understand what the hell is this scikit-learn. Okay, guys, it's very simple. sklearn is nothing but scikit-learn. It comes with amazing libraries to make your machine learning models more easy. Okay, and from scikit-learn, I am importing a pre-processing library, and that pre-processing library has got a lot of classes, methods to pre-process any data set. And from this library, we are importing an imputer class. For everyone's benefit, I'll make this more easy for you and I repeat that. sklearn is nothing but scikit-learn. This is one of the library, and it contains an amazing libraries to make your machine learning models work pretty well. Now, in that we are using a pre-processing library. This pre-processing library contains several classes, methods to pre-process any data. What is pre-process here? In my requirement pre-processing is I have an empty field which must be replaced with average. To meet that requirement, I'm using this one. Now here I'm importing an imputer class, and I will be using this class for the work. Once you are done with importing the class, highlight that and go with command I. Once you go with command I, that's self-explanatory. It says, boss, I am this one, my definition is this one. If you have a missing value, give this field. Okay, this is the field on which you are going to work. Perfect. This is the strategy you are going to apply on that field, and if it is a row, you give 0. Now I'll explain you more clearly. Come down, missing values. The placeholder for the missing values, all occurrence of missing values will be imputed. For a missing value encoded as np.nan using nan. Okay. Now, once you give the missing values, you give the strategy. What is our strategy? We decided to replace the missing data with mean. Mean is nothing but average. So I'll give strategy is equal to mean. Okay. And then axis is, are you going to apply this mean on the row or column? If axis equal to row, it's a column. If axis equal to 1, that's a row. Do you find any difficulty here? No, it's self-explanatory. It's clearly telling you what it is doing here. Okay. Now be careful. Always test something before you go to next step. It's imported successfully. I'm happy with that. Now guys, now we have imported the class. We need to create the object for the class. How to create the object? I will say imputer as my object, and this will be referenced with the class imputer. Okay, and if I do that, it should show me here. Okay, however, I got the syntax here, so I'll use the same syntax, which is nothing but missing underscore, one second guys, any mistake, missing underscore values is equal to nan. Okay, because I told you it's nan. And what is the strategy you're going to apply? You're applying the strategy called mean, right? Strategy is equal to mean. Perfect. Once that's done, you are going to apply axis. Axis means, is it a row or a column? It's a column. So axis equal to 0. Sorry, axis equal to 0. Now let me run this one and see any error messages. I'll explain this once again for you. Don't worry. This is also run perfectly, guys. So let's recap. You have imported a library. From that library, imported a sub library, and from the sub library, you imported a class, and from that class, you took an object. You referenced that object with the parameters it needed to work. This is done. Now, this is all good. We have to fit this imputer object to a matrix. What is our metric? Our matrix is X. To fit the matrix feature X, we need to use a function called imputer.fit. Okay. To do that, what we need to do is we have to say imputer.fit. That's spontaneous. And where are you applying this? You are applying this on your metric X. In the matrix X, what are the fields you want? You want all the rows and you want specified columns. What are specified columns? 1:3. Now I'll tell you what I mean by 1:3. Now, when I say 1:3, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. 1:3 means inner bound limit is 1, outer bound limit is 3. Outer bound limit is 3 is excluded because we have already asked this to get lost here. Did you get that? We have already asked it to get lost here. However, we are not including our upper bound. We are only including inner bound. Inner bound means this comes 1, this comes 2. So what is it going to do? Your imputer object referenced by an imputer class which is checking for missing data, applying the mean function on that columns. Okay, now you have did a good job. Now you have fit your imputer object to a matrix feature. Please be very careful. We are not going to fit imputer object on all total metrics, but only on the columns where you have missing data. I have missing data on one column and two column, and that's the reason why I have given 1:3. Okay, now as I told you last time also, Python indexes start with 0, 1, 2, 3. Make sense? Should make sense. Okay, now what is the parameter? The parameters we have already entered: strategy as parameter, missing value as parameter, access parameter. Okay, now if you have any questions about imputer.fit, it just does the same imputer object fitting to your matrix X. That's it. Let me click enter. I will try running this one. Command enter. There is a spelling mistake. What is that? Okay, let me check. I'll run this first. I'll run this bit. Command enter. And then I'll run this bit. Command enter. And then I'll run this bit. Command enter. Very good. Now imputer.fit space is also correct. This should work. Let me check. I think I have done a mistake here. Imputer.fit x 1:3. Let me run this again. I think there is syntax error within this one. I'll do something. I'll assign this one to, I'll reference this to this one. Imputer is equal to imputer dot fit, spelling mistake, and I'll use my reference variable as x, and in that I have column this one, and space 1:3. This is completed and this is completed. Very good. Now this should work. Earlier I have not okay, let me check once again. Give me a minute, guys. This is working perfectly. I'll pause the recording. Give me a minute. I'll come back to you. I will pause the recording for 2 minutes. I'll have to sort this issue and come back to you. Okay, guys, I'm back. I wanted to show you the mistake what I have done. Let me show you that. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. I'll show the difference now. Okay, let me pull this a bit. Okay, in a rush there was a mistake. Try to understand the difference here. Here what I told you I want to remove this, right? But what I have done, I'm running this, I have included this. A very small mistake. We want to use this as our matrix. When you want to use this as your matrix, this will become your matrix X and this will become your observations. For you to have these observations, this should be in one column, this should be in one this should be, what can I say, this should be one vector, and this 3 should be in one vector. Once again, sorry, this 3 should be in your vector and this should be your metric. Okay, now the mistake what I have done is I have to remove this, but I have made a small mistake by not adding this one. Now see the difference. What happens? Command enter. Now if I say X, oof, it has taken, it has removed the last column. Now this is your vector and this is your metric. Y. Shut. 1 second, guys. This is your, see, this is your metric, or I can say this is my metric, this is my vector, vice versa. So now my logic will work. So if I do the whole bit again, everything will be imported. Okay, 1 second, there is one other mistake here, from spelling mistake, or yeah, let me run again. Command enter. There is something wrong. Okay, let's do this one. We'll enter till this point. Command enter. Everything went well. Now let's check this one. This bit, why is it failing? We have imputer, or I'll do imputer equal to imputer dot fix, and then 1:3. Let me run this one. Now it runs successfully. See, there's no error messages. So guys, till this point I'll explain everything once again to make you aware. The reason why I'm repeating it again and again is, if you understand what I have done, it will be easy for you to implement the flow. Implement, first import your library, from library your sublibrary, from sublibrary import your class, from class you reference an object, and your object will be you will use your object name, and your object name will go and talk to your class, and in class you use command plus I, it gives your object explorer. Object inspector, the object inspector gives you the syntax. Use the syntax conditions properly without any error messages, any typos, and then fit it to what, your object must be fit to a matrix, and in a matrix to the columns where you want. This is done. So once this is done, we have to apply the transformation here. What is the transformation? The transformation is nothing but, take the metric, transformation is nothing but to make our imputer object fixed with our matrix X, we are applying the transformation. The transformation is nothing but you use the object imputer and then apply on it. What is imputer? Imputer is our object. Our imputer object is fitted with the matrix X. So I'll use the same thing now. Very simple. Go to this column, go to your matrix. Guys, you can, this one you can call, you can even call XYZ. I don't even mind. That's not a big problem. Okay, I'm applying on my metric. What am I applying? So I will say go and use imputer and then transform. Very good. That's self-explanatory. And transform on which are you, on which are you transforming? You're transforming on your X. Okay, you're transforming on X, on which fields? On all lines, and the upper bound excluded and inner bound included. Okay, that's it. Now let me check if this runs well. We are good to go. Command enter. Perfect. Now if I click X here, let me see what I get. Amazing, zing zing. You see here, your missing data is replaced with average here, and your missing data is replaced with average here. To cross check if we have done correct or not, let's go and check here. 1 minute, guys. Okay, what's the average? 38.7777, right? 38.777. Superb. I'm happy with that. Go back here, check this one. What's the average? It's 63,777.77. 63,777.777. Amazing. Good job. We have achieved our first requirement in Spider and Anaconda. Now let's try using the same thing in R. Okay, guys, one thing you must be aware is in R we don't have to use any libraries. We just have to use functions. Okay, to do that, to do that, I'm sorry. To do that, first we need to take our data set, which we have already done. Data set is nothing but your data set on which you are going to work, and you must be aware of the columns where you're going to apply these functions. Okay, so the first thing is take the data set, take the columns, and once you are aware of it, go and apply a function. Here to meet the requirement, I will be using an if else function, and if else function will have as you know, if else function will have three important parameters. The first parameter will be condition, if condition, and the second parameter will be what is the value you want to input to it if the condition is true, and the third variable is what is the value you have to input if the condition is false. Okay, and in this in this function, in this if else function, I'll be using some internal functions to make my work more easy. Let me show you that. So your data set is already loaded. Very good. Data set, go and select the column. To select the column, just give dollar, it will auto feed. As you're working on age, let's take age column. Now on this one I will use an if else function. In if else function I'll use some internal functions of R which is called is.na. Okay, now understand it, carefully observe. Guys, is.na is a logical constant of length 1 which contains a missing value indicator. Okay, like the way you use scikit-learn with preprocessing library and imported the class imputer in Python. In R you have is.na. Okay, this is a function. This function will help you to identify the missing data in the column. Now this is a function. On which column are you going to do? I'm going to apply it on the column data set. In that data set I have a column called age. Fair enough. This is the first parameter. Now once the first parameter is over, what second parameter? If the condition is true, you need to pass the inputs if the condition is true. Okay, for that what I'm doing is I am applying an average function. Average function, how am I going to apply it? I am applying it on data set column age. Very good. And now I have to give a function. I'll give the function name as fun. Okay, and I'll give the name of the function. What is the name of the function? It's mean function, right? Where are you applying the function? You're applying the function on x. That's perfect. And what is this x doing? This has to do a mean operation. Mean operation means average, and you need to give mean of x and tell that if na.rm is equal to true. See, na.rm again is a logical value indicating whether na value should be stripped before computation proceeds. If the condition is true, do this for me. If the condition is false, don't do this, skip it and go to next step. That's what it is. So what I'll do is I'll go and apply this if na is equal to true. Okay, till here we are good. Now guys, as I told you, your if else will have three parameters. The first parameter is your condition, if condition, and the second parameter is the value you want to input if the condition is true, which we have just done, and if third parameter is if the value you want to input is false. So now if the value is false, what am I going to do? Just simply give me the data set and its column. What is the column? Age column. Okay, now let's verify if we have done it correctly. So your data set is data set. You are applying this function on your age column. You are using an if else statement. In if else statement, you're using a function called is.na. Your is.na will identify the missing columns, missing data in the column, and on that If it is true, it applies an average function, and that average function is referenced by a function name called fun, which is taking function of x and mean. Okay, now let me enter. Now if I say view of data set, enter, boom, it's good. See, it has amazingly replaced the missing column of my age. Okay, very good, right? It has replaced my age average. There's no missing column here. Now let me apply the same thing on salary. To do that, I will follow the same step. Data set, one second guys, data set, what is that? You have a salary, good, and in that you use an if else function, and same thing is.na, you know what it is. It's a logical constant of length 1 which contains a missing value indicator. Very good. Simply to avoid further confusions, just go to that and click enter. It will be very easy for you. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Okay, is.na has to work on one column, that is data set column with salary, with data set salary column. Very good, super. So once this is done, this is your initial requirement. Now what you have, command enter to go to the indentation, apply average. Apply average where? On your data set. One second guys, I'll have to do it here. Data set on which column? On salary column. And then you will have a function there, and your function name will be referenced as fun equal to fun, function of function will be updated on x, sorry, it's a small x, and its mean is nothing but average. Okay, and apply it on x, and the condition should be na.rm. So take it na.rm equal to true. So this is second parameter. If the condition is true, you told what it has to do. Now you have to say what the condition is false. If condition is false, just give me my data set with the column. Sorry, I made a mistake. Sorry, it's data set with salary. Okay, enter. Now if you see here, this is also gone. There is no empty data set in your age, there is no empty data set in your salary. Very good, you achieved this successfully using both Python and R. Okay, now let me go back to the PPT. We have done missing data, and we need to do categorical data. So missing data is done. Guys, I think it's been 1.5 hours. It's enough for today. I will continue the next steps later. So as this is only a demo, all my intention in today's class is to make you all know it's not a rocket science. When I did it, even you can do it. Follow the approach. The resources are available everywhere. Dedicate yourself, learn it, and get your career transitioned in a right direction. If you observe the Tesla cars, Google's recent releases, and the voice recognition softwares, and you will see many more great things will be coming in near future. And to support those features, at least, market will be in deficit of resources on data science, machine learning, internet of things, deep learning. So everything, it's not that easy, it's not that hard. That's what I'm trying to say here. I will try to come up, I will once again, I want to tell you more importantly, Everything, whatever we discuss in the class, will be uploaded onto this one. Hadoop ThoughtWorks, data science with R and Python. This is the GitHub repository. I will put the code. I'll put the explanations part also. I'll put the slides also. And this is the YouTube channel where the video will be uploaded after the class is completed. I hope you all will enjoy this session. And please kindly give me your feedback. I'm happy to take your feedback and implement them to make this more productive so more people love it. As I told you, I am also working towards this analytics. I want people to listen to my videos completely. I want people to get benefited, so I'll also get benefited. So kindly please, I would request every one of you to please give me a feedback which will help me to improve myself and also make more better videos for everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Wish you all the best and good luck. Thanks a lot.